Before we start our presentation, I would like to tell you a story first. There were two sisters whose parents were killed by enemies. Their uncle swore revenge. The sister tried to find him. When they found him, he refused to come back home with them. He said he could give them something to remember him. He sent them to the kiln. When they went out, their bodies were covered in beautiful patterns. The other girls in the village tried to copy, but in vain. They were only able to copy the designs on their hands. This is the origin story of the Rukai's tattoo, Pacase.
When we think of tattoos, we often think of rebellion, self-expression, or human body art. However, Pacase is no ordinary tattoo. In our project, we will explore the beautiful representation of Rukai spirit. In the following outline, we will provide you with further information concerning Pacase.
The inspiration for this project comes from our member Ruby. When she visited New Zealand, there was a Maori native Marine who received approval to have Maori tattoos on his face, in reminding her of her great-grandmother, who always proudly told stories about Pacase on her hands. As a Rukai, Ruby had a strong feeling about the difference between
the Rukai traditions are vanishing. I want to do something for my culture, for my great-grandmother, and also for the Rukai.
So we decided to do this project together.
Our topic is
My Copyright, Pacase.
Her experience ignited our desire to explore Pacase and Rukai tribesmen's opinions about it. Thus, we decided the question to achieve our purposes. First, we try to understand the meaning of Pacase, and we try to find out how well Rukai tribesmen understand it. Then, we ask Rukai tribesmen opinions on cultural significance and preservation. The term Pacase has never appeared in our books, but the concept in our project are highly related to several subjects. In project study, we learn the procedure of a project. In presentation English, we are able to stand here and talk about this issue. In civics, we are able to respect multiculturalism. In history, we learn how Japanese interacted with the native people of Taiwan. All of these topics provide the background knowledge concerning the study.
Based on the above, we used the three methods to investigate Pacase. Looking over the literature has been surprising. The first one is qualifications for having Pacase. Rukai consists of two groups, commoners and nobles. Only young virgin Rukai girls with ability to make textile can get Pacase. But commoners are required to meet two additional qualifications: donation and permission of the chief.
Now we understand how Pacase is given, but what is it for? It's a symbol of purity and nobility. Also, qualification of textile making is evidence of female maturity. Lastly, if you can endure the pain of Pacase, it means you can endure any kind of hardship in the future. Now let's take a closer look at the hand I drew. The images are inspired by Mother Nature. The Rukai believe the 100 pacer to be the ancestor, so you can see it in Pacase. Image of rivers and mountains symbolize territory. After reviewing the literature, we found that image may look simple at first, but they are as meaningful as the culture, which leads us to the next point.
To understand how well Rukai tribesmen know Pacase and their opinions on it, we designed our questionnaire into 3 dimensions: understanding, cultural significance, and preservation with 15 yes/no questions. 160 Rukai tribesmen participated in our survey. We analyzed the data from different aspects: social class, sex, and age. Let's start by taking a look at this chart that separates the nobles and the commoners. You can see that the average positive response rates of the nobles in 3 dimensions are all higher than those of the commoners. The reason might be the fact that Pacase is one of the nobles' privileges, which gives the nobles more opportunity to receive Pacase.
Let's move on to another one. This one analyzed how sex impacted their response. The rates of female in 3 dimensions are all higher than those of male, because for a long time, those who had Pacase were all female. The final one is analyzed by age. No matter the dimension, the rate slightly increases as the age gets higher. But this area is different. Understanding in the age 16 to 18 is lower than that in the age 13 to 15, because many schools in tribe have begun teaching Aboriginal culture.
After we analyzed the data, we found that although Rukai tribesmen are not familiar with Pacase, they are quite willing to pass it down. To understand their thoughts clearly, we interviewed 3 Rukai tribesmen of different ages. Kabalu, Xu Weizhong, is a 26-year-old commoner was within Jamu tribe. After Typhoon Molaka, he was forced to evacuate. Since then, he realized how vulnerable and important that culture is.
Ipulu, Lai Meifang, is a 44-year-old noble with only 7 senior tribesmen with Pacase left. She realized that with the passing away of these elders, part of the culture was passing away too. Thus, she took it upon herself. She has even planned to have her own Pacase. Gualimi, Du Shouyin, is a 99-year-old noble, one of the last 7 senior tribesmen with Pacase. She cherishes the Pacase a lot. It was an honor to speak and learn with someone who has been on the earth for 99 years.
After interviewing them, we summarized the following information. Parents choose patterns based on their expectation for their daughter. However, the nobles and the commoners have separate patterns. For example, human pattern can only be used by nobles. The patterns of Pacase not only show a woman's purity, but also increase the chance of marrying a noble.
You may be wondering how such a beautiful tradition disappears. Here are some possible reasons. During Japanese rule, Rukai tribesmen were forced to remove their Pacase. This means Pacase nearly disappeared during this time period. Additionally, nowadays, most Rukai are Christian. This means that receiving a tattoo like Pacase goes against their religion. The final reason is the influence of Han culture. Tattoos are a symbol of gangster. Thus, some tribesmen have abandoned their own culture to assimilate.
In our interview, we've asked them their opinions on heritage. They're happy to see that people are trying to understand and even pass it down. But they still emphasize that Pacase is no easy thing. As we said before, some factors may still affect Pacase revival. 26-year-old Gabaluf gets a suggestion, where Pacase patterns on clothes instead of on skin. This balances religion with tradition.
After all this effort, we found that Pacase is distinct from modern tattoos, and we have the following conclusions. Pacase is a Rukai symbol of female purity, glory, and the blessing from parents. Most importantly, since Rukai has no written language, Pacase is a way of expression.
Furthermore, Pacase is generally practiced by nobles and women, and nowadays, young tribesmen no longer have Pacase, so elders, nobles, and women are most likely to understand and preserve Pacase. But surprisingly, regardless of class, sex, or age, all the rates of cultural significance and preservation reaches 80 to 90%, while understanding reaches only 50 to 60%. For preservation, they should raise the understanding of Pacase.
Now we would like to provide some suggestions. First, by creating products of Pacase like this, more people will be aware of Pacase, and there will be more opportunities to pass it down. Moreover, Pacase is likely to be preserved if it is in cultural courses. The third one is to ensure Rukai's coming generations to have certain understanding and commitment for their culture.
After doing this project, I felt deeply connected to my culture. The more I learn, the more I cherish my identity. If we lose a part of our culture, we also lose a part of ourselves. Each Pacase tells a story. It shows who I am. It's my copyright.
Doing this project has encouraged all of us to dig deeper into who we are.
It's not just respecting others' culture, but more about cherishing our own one.
If you are interested in Pacase or willing to know more, the following are recommended information for reference.
Thank you!